use your podcast to grow that email list. Don't just say, join my newsletter. You want to offer something to your listener that they actually want, like a free checklist, a guide that helps them get from A to B, or some exclusive insights.
Most hosts never achieve the results they hoped for. They're falling short on listenership and monetization, meaning their message isn't being heard and their show ends up costing them money. This podcast was created to help you grow your listenership and make money while you're at it. Get ready to take notes. Here's your host, Adam Adams.
Hey, podcaster, your podcast isn't enough to grow your business. At least it's not enough on its own. Top podcasters know and understand this more than any of us. And that's why they all have one thing in common: a newsletter. If you're not building an email list, you're missing out on deeper connections, higher conversions, and more revenue. And here's why, and also how to fix it. So first, let's start with why. First and foremost, I got a story. There's this guy who's a podcast coach. He's a friend of mine, and he built his entire business around his podcast, coaching others how to do the same thing. Then one day, his podcast was gone, completely wiped from Apple Podcast, all because he missed a single cuss word in an episode. No warning, no appeals. His podcast is just gone. I also know this woman, a friend of mine. She's a friend of mine. She's had her podcast for years and years and years, and she had it on a platform that she trusted, and everything was good until it was gone. So what was the issue for her? Simply her credit card expired. She didn't say a cuss word on the podcast. She didn't do anything really wrong. It's just that the credit card that she put on the hosting platform expired the next year, and out of nowhere, she just didn't have a podcast. It was deleted and she wasn't able to publish, and everything was gone. Well, a lot of my point is that you can't count 100% on just your podcast. It's also good to know you can't count on social media. You can't count on Facebook ads. You can't count on your organic social media, because not any one thing is perfect. As for me, I've lost access to my social media more than one time, more times than I can even count, actually. But my mother, who's a coach, she's a business owner with a podcast. She has only lost her Facebook one time. What's the problem then? It's still down. She still doesn't have Facebook. It's been a year and she hasn't been able to get back on her Facebook. She lost everything. Well, actually, she didn't lose completely everything, because Facebook was like nice enough to say, here, you can have your photos, which she didn't need anyway because she was already backing them up because she's smart. But that's the one thing. Facebook's like, well, you can have your photos, but you can never have your account again. So she lost everything that she had built on that platform. She can't connect with people anymore. Her listeners of her podcast can no longer get on there. What's the point? You can't 100% count on your podcast. You can't 100% count on your social media. Can't 100% even count on paid ads. I've known too many people that got shut out of paid ads. So why am I telling you all of this? It's because there's only one thing that you definitely can trust. You still need to be careful with it. You need to keep your email list on a separate place in case you ever get shut down in one of the areas in one of the email platforms. But you can count on that list, and you probably can count on that list forever. If you don't have a newsletter right now, you're making one big mistake. For example, if you make one expired payment, one algorithm change on Facebook, one algorithm change on ads, you kind of lose everything. And it ends up not being something that you want to experience. I promise you that. But I'm going to share with you the 4 things to know, so you learn exactly like what is the reason for me having a newsletter. Like, what does it do for my podcast, Adam? So I'm going to give you 4 things. And then I'm going to teach you how to create the newsletter with the best way possible. And that's going to be 7 other things. So the first 4 are talking about what the newsletter actually does for your show. And then the last 7 are going to talk about how exactly it works. So we're going to dive into all of the parts. So what is a newsletter? What does it actually do? Number 1, you own it and no one can take it away. Social media, podcast directories, hosting platforms, none of them, all of those could shut you down at any time, but your email list, that's yours forever. Number 2, email converts better than social media. What? How does it convert better than social media? Well, organic reach on social media hits about 5% of your followers if you're lucky. A normal open rate for emails, 20 to 40%. The open rate, 20 to 40%. I know friends that are at 10%. I know that are 50%. But most of us are definitely above 20% open rate. And you would be absolutely lucky to even get 5% on your social media. So email converts better. That's one of the reasons why you want to have it. Also, email drives more clicks and more engagement and more sales. So even though you get 5% of your Facebook people, possibly maybe 1%, really, but even if you got 5% of your social media, it's not always going to drive clicks. One of the reasons why is because a lot of people that are on social media, they kind of want to stay on social media. So once I get to Facebook, I don't know what my deal is, but I'm not alone. Once I'm on Facebook, I want to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. I don't know why. Maybe they've trained me to do that, but it's true. When you are on Facebook, most people, they just want to scroll, go to the next one. Not very often are we looking for something on Facebook. Not very often are we actually going to click that thing on Facebook. But when it comes to emails, yes, you get a better open rate and you also get more clicks. Number 3, a newsletter nurtures listeners into clients. So people that don't buy after hearing you once, they might need reminders. They might need added value. They might want some more trust built before they hire you. And what does that best? Your newsletter does that. Oh, and should I also say this? Most people, as far as engagement goes, as far as their listeners actually doing something, it's usually 1 out of 1,000. So if you think about your podcast, it's a good thing to have a show. It's just, you got to understand that the people that are going to buy are 1 out of 1,000, but they're more likely to join your newsletter. And then you got a 20 to 40% open rate and then a much higher, much higher sales rate. So if you got a business attached to your podcast, then you win. Third is it can be an additional revenue stream. So like, for example, you could sell your coaching, your services, your products. You can have sponsors pay you more than just if they're, so how do I explain this best? If you get a sponsor for your podcast, they're willing to give you bigger bucks if not only are they on your podcast, they're also on your email list. So you can give this added value. Once you sponsor my podcast, for example, you can be at my middle tier where you get 4 30-second ads every month. Okay, you say something like that, but you don't say it like a salesperson like I was. You get 4 episodes every single month, 30 seconds, you're in front of all of my listeners. Then you could also say, if you go to the next level, if you go to my premium level, my title sponsorship level, then there's a huge benefit to you. You're in front of my email list. I have, let's just say, 3,000 people on my email list. I get a 40% open rate. That, I don't know how to do the math that fast. Is that 1,200 people seeing your message? And more of them are going to get clicks and you'll get more sales. So you share that with somebody. Now you get additional revenue for your podcast because you have both. So it's a good thing for you to make sure that not only do you have your podcast, but also you're getting those emails. So build your email list. So how do you do it? That's a good question. We have a quick break and we'll be right back with the 7 exact steps to creating an email newsletter that works. Hey, my friend, as you know, this episode is sponsored by my company, growyourshow.com. We want you to be able to have the best tools at your disposal without costing you a whole arm and a leg. So right now you can get a free list of vetted equipment that like mics, mixers, webcams, sound treatment, editing software, everything that you need. I created the whole PDF with direct purchase links just to save you time and money, to help it be more convenient for you. So this free PDF will help you skip all the guesswork. If it's on there, it's vetted and approved by yours truly. And if it's not on there, it's probably not worth the money. So go ahead and get yours at growyourshow.com/PDF. Let's get back into the show. Are you ready to learn how to create an email newsletter that works, that gets results? Well, here are the 7 things. Most podcasters, can't even talk, get this wrong by just dumping a link to their latest episode, and they think that's what they're doing. That's all they do. They'll email everybody, and the only thing they'll say is, "Hey, I got another episode came out. Here you go. Go ahead and get it. It's going to be great." That's not how it's going to work. So how do you make it more valuable? Number 1, make it more valuable, not just a promo. You want to give the audience, the listener, the reader, a reason to open the email. Even if they don't listen to the episode right then, you want to at least get them to open it. So another thing, you add quick insights, a personal story, or an exclusive tip on your email list. That is going to help people get value that they can't get through your podcast. That gives them a reason to be part of both. A couple of subject lines that will help you get things open. Now, you're not going to use these exact subject lines. You're going to think about, how did he make that? Why did that work? As you write things down, as you practice it, you're going to learn on your own what's going to work for your audience, because you're going to have a different type of audience than maybe these 2 examples. So here's one. 3 lessons from my latest guest. One of them surprised me. That sounds good. But what if we could actually correct a problem? 3 lessons from my latest guest that helped me achieve this, or that I learned that allowed me to get a cool result without spending too much money, or something like that. So another piece to this is 3 lessons and 5 lessons. The number 3 and the number 5 seem to get the most amount of results. 3 and 5. I prefer 3 if you can, because when you start getting 5 and higher, it's like, whoa, that's so much. Even I was nervous on this episode to give you 7 ways to make your email list work the best, because I was thinking about that. I was thinking, you know what? Psychologically, that could stress somebody out. They might say to themselves, well, I mean, I don't want to learn all 7. I don't know if I could learn all 7. Give me 1, Adam. Give me 2. Give me 3. Give me 5. 7's a lot. However, I went against my own thing. Going back to that subject line, 3 lessons from a latest guest. One of them surprised me. Or another idea, the one business shift that changed everything. That could be your subject line on an email. This helps them to open it. Number 2, you want to write like you're a human. There's one thing that a lot of people do when they're writing emails. They forget that they're human. They decide to speak more corporate. They decide to speak more salesy, but they kind of change who they are when they write, because they want to write as professionally as possible. And I think that comes from college, or maybe even high school. I didn't write a lot of things in high school. I skipped them. I failed a few grades. I'm being honest. In college, I finally said, you know what, I got to write some stuff. So that's where I learned this. You probably learned this in junior high, if I'm being honest. But we learned how to corporate speak. We learned how to sound professional. We learned how to fluff. We learned how to make all this stuff sound so special. But we don't need it to sound so special. We just need it to sound like we're a freaking human, a human being. So that's a big thing. When you're writing your newsletter, just be yourself. And also, use shorter paragraphs, like and conversational tone, conversational tone. Sorry, maybe I didn't sleep last night. Actually, I slept great. I don't know why I can't talk. Use short paragraphs. Use a conversational tone, and even implore some humor. So if you want to be funny, be funny. If you need some jokes, you could also go to ChatGPT and you could say, this is what I want to say. Can you add a joke for me that my avatar, and then you explain who your avatar is. Can you add a joke for me that my avatar would love to hear? So if you want to be funny and you're not, borrow somebody. You could hire something that one person has taught when I went to a speaking class. Well, actually, he taught two different things. He said you should go and do improv classes. That's one of the things. And another one is when you are writing your presentation, you can go to a comedian and you could just give them your whole presentation and say, how do you make this funnier? But now with ChatGPT and other AI that understands some jokes and how to make things humorous and more involved, now you can go to ChatGPT and say, here, I want you to add a joke, add 2 jokes to this. Number 3, under how to create a newsletter that works, is that you want to have 1. Did I say 2? No, I said 1. You want to have 1 single, clear, what? Call to action. So instead of being at the end of your email and being like, hey, follow my Facebook, here's the link. Follow my LinkedIn, here's the link. Follow my Instagram, here's the link. Make sure that you call me anytime. Here's also my email. Make sure you get this new fancy book that I wrote. That's way too much. I'm already stressed. Just 1 clear, concise CTA or call to action. If you want them to reply, then literally say, reply to this email. And actually that boosts your email score. So if you care about your emails being delivered better and to more people, that's a really good way to do it. So you might say, 3 lessons from my latest podcast guest that helped me to achieve XYZ. One of them is going to surprise you. And then inside the actual email, you tell them a few things. And then you have your CTA, which is, if you would like to talk more about this, or if you would like me to get you that PDF, just reply to this email and I'll send you the PDF, or I'll get you the resource. I'll send you my book for free, whatever it is. Ask them to reply. You could also ask them to click. So you can put buttons on the email. You could ask them to book a call. Just pick whichever one and is the one that you want. Make it completely obvious. State it once, twice, or 3 times, maybe in the beginning, middle, and end, maybe just at the end. But when you state it super clearly. So have 1 CTA and make it obvious. Number 4, use your podcast to grow that email list. Don't just say, quote, join my newsletter. You want to offer something to your listener that they actually want, like a free checklist, a guide that helps them get from A to B, or some exclusive insights that they won't get on the podcast. Give them a better reason to leave the podcast in order to join that newsletter. If you don't have a compelling reason, they're not going to do it. So don't just say, join my newsletter, because they'll be like, F you. And you'll be like, I'm crying now. And nobody likes that. Number 5, keep it short and easy to read. So just like we said, keep it conversational, have short paragraphs, use a conversational tone. When we get to number 5, we're going to have the entire email pretty short and sweet. If you put out an email and it is just like pages and pages and pages long, a lot of people are going to say, I'm not going to read this right now. What they say is, I'm not going to read this right now. What actually happens is, I'm never going to read this shit. I'm never going to read this. They kind of want to. They kind of think they should. They kind of want to get that value, but it was too long. And they're just like, yeah, I'll read that when I have time. And guess what? They just never have time. So keep it short. Keep it easy to read. use bolded sections. So you'll put like a section on there and you bold it and you'll put like, what are these things called? Bullet points. And you'll break up the text with white space and or just the bullet points, but break up the text with, I call it white space. That's because most of the papers are white and the writing on there is black or blue. And the space in between a sentence and the next sentence or paragraph is an enter. That white space in between, we call white space. I don't know why we got so creative, but we did. We call the white space white space. That was number 5. Keep it short and easy to read. Make it skimmable. Number 6, choose the right email platform for you. There are plenty of great options. Many of them will fit your needs. I'm going to just go over 6 ideas. All 6 of these will be in the show notes. So you hear me talk about ConvertKit, MailChimp, Constant Contact, Go High Level, ActiveCampaign, and Brevo or Brevo. I don't know how they pronounce it, but I'm going to say these 6 and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. And then you are going to go and find the best one for you. Some of these are paid platforms and some of them are free. So ConvertKit is great for creators and automation. I can't talk today. ConvertKit is great for creators and automation. MailChimp is actually awesome because it's free until you hit like 2,000 subscribers. And I don't remember if it goes to $20 or what. We had 6,000 on one list and maybe another 3,000 total. So we had maybe 9,000. We had maybe 9,000. It was definitely under 10,000 subscribers. And we were using MailChimp. And I remember the day that it went from free to not free. I was sad and crying. I didn't actually cry, but I was like really disappointed. I'm like, that sucks. We can't have it free anymore. And actually, that's a benefit. You get over 2,000 subscribers. That's great. Good for you. I'm proud of you. You want to pay for MailChimp. That's awesome. So once you hit that 2,000, you will pay, and that's okay. Constant Contact is a third one where it's very strong deliverability, meaning the email thingy-mabobbers. That's a very technical term. I hope that you understand it. The email thingy-mabobbers have, they sense something that's coming from Constant Contact, and they say, yeah, this is something you can trust. So it's easy for other people to receive your email. Some of the others will call out MailChimp as well. Because MailChimp can be free for like the 2,000 first subscribers, a lot of people that don't really know what they're doing with email, and they just get other people's emails and they don't even ask for permission, and they just start emailing people. And a lot of people unsubscribe. Well, because those come through MailChimp or another equivalent, sometimes they have a harder time getting delivered to your person. When you use Constant Contact, you have to jump through more hoops. Essentially, it makes it harder to get that person on your email list. But the benefit is once they're on, they're probably going to get your email. You're probably not going to have anybody say, hey, I never got your email. And you're like, yeah, well, I sent it. I sent it. You didn't get it? To check your spam. Because they get hidden, they get not delivered, etc. So it is possible, but MailChimp is a great start. Constant Contact, I can't remember the price. We used that for a long time. I think it was like I don't remember, like $100 maybe. Go High Level is another paid one that I think is around $100 to $200. And GHL, High Level, gohighlevel.com. A lot of people say that the name of the company is actually High Level, but the website is Go High Level. So whichever you are, whether it's High Level or GHL or Go High Level, it is a really good one. It's got tons of integration. It's got the CRM completely built in, lots of automation. So it's like plug and play. A lot of good that you can do with Go High Level. And we've got ActiveCampaign, which I used for a long time. And I think that's $100 or $200. Actually, I think it's $199. or it was $199 when I was using ActiveCampaign. And it's got a lot of advanced automation. There are some huge benefits with ActiveCampaign. You would love working with that. It also has a lot of segmented lists. So that segmentation allows you to be able to basically send to 10 people and the 10 other people. So you can make subgroups, and it's pretty cool. And if somebody didn't open, it can send it again. Lots of huge things that could be beneficial. And Brevo or Brevo, it used to be called Sendinblue. It's super affordable. It's a good for transactional emails. So we will have, I guess we already have, ConvertKit in the show notes, MailChimp in the show notes, Constant Contact in the show notes, Go High Level in the show notes, ActiveCampaign in the show notes, and Brevo or Brevo, which used to be Sendinblue. And then number 7. So, okay, that was 6 things under 6. That was choose the right email platform. There was 6 ideas there. And then the 7th big thing for you to have a really good email list is make sure you're tracking everything, you're testing it, you're split testing it, and you continue to improve. So you would essentially make an A/B test. You would choose 2 different subject lines, like I gave you earlier. I gave you 2 different subject lines. So, for example, you could send one subject line to half the people and another subject line to the other half the people, and then whichever one has a higher open rate, whichever one more people open that email. Awesome. What does that mean? That means get rid of the one that didn't work so much. Start using the main one. And you always want to split test different things. I'll split test short. I'll split test long. You could also call this A/B testing. That means A is here, B is there. You also want to remove your inactive subscribers. There's a lot of reasons why. Let me share them. If you've got 10,000 people on your email list and that makes you happy, that makes you feel like you're a cool person because you can tell everybody that you got 10,000 people, but only 5% of them open your emails, you don't have 10 effing thousand people on your list. I'm sorry. You got 5% of that. What is that? Is that 500 or 5,000? Yeah, 500. I think I'm doing the math right. If you've got 10,000 people, but only 5% open them, that's not good. So what you do is instead of just trying to keep a big list, you trim the fat. You prune the tree. You prune off the things that you don't need. And actually, just like pruning a tree, it benefits the tree. Why? How, you might say. Why? Before I had 10,000 and now you told me to just get rid of, let's say, half of them. 5,000 people none of 5,000 people have opened a single email in the last 20 emails that I've sent. So then why the hell are you still sending it to them? They don't want to read your shit. Okay, they don't want to read your emails. I'm not going to call it shit because it's good. This is great. They don't want to read your stuff for some reason. I don't know why. But knowing that they don't says to you, hey, I got 5,000 people that haven't opened my last bunch of emails. Cool. Trim the fat. Prune the tree. Now, how did that benefit you? Is that you get a higher open rate. And when you have a higher open rate, all of the platforms trust you better. So when you're sending an email and almost everybody opens, you're going to get easier in front of the next person. If you send it and only half or 20% or 5% of them open it, then they believe you're doing something wrong because you should be getting at least a 20% open rate, but you're getting a 10% open rate. And so they're thinking to themselves, I got to not put this in front of everybody. Okay. Everybody's algorithm is different. So MailChimp might work that way and Constant Contact might not. Go High Level might and ActiveCampaign might not. The point is that some of them do see your open rates being terrible and they stop trusting you. So you want to remove any inactive subscribers. And also you want to focus on just Have you ever heard it's not the size of it, it's how you use it or something? I know that might be terrible. You're like, oh, what a bad joke, Adam. Why did you just say that? Here's the reason. Think of it like this. You want to not focus on the size of your email list. It doesn't matter the size of the email list. It matters the engagement. It doesn't matter if you have 10,000 people. It matters if people are actually opening, buying, etc. So your next move is to start a newsletter. If you don't have one, you can start with MailChimp or any of the others. It just depends on how much money you have. Go ahead and look at them and you decide. And if you do, you want to tweak your approach by using these best practices that we shared above and watch the engagement and your business grow. Your podcast starts the conversation, okay? Your podcast does. The email list is what really keeps it going. Know, like, trust. They know you, then they like you, then they trust you. They know you as a podcast host. They like you when they are on your email list. They trust you when they buy. And I'll see you on the next episode.
By the way, one way to ensure that you don't miss out on great content that we're producing on a regular basis is to make sure you're subscribed to the show. You need to be subscribed or following the Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to it in order not to miss all of that. And before I let you go, I need to mention, because a lot of people are asking, do you help? Can you help me with this? And the answer is yes. My company actually does it. It's called Grow Your Show. And you can find that at growyourshow.com. Our clients, they call us the easy button for podcaster because they simply have to record their episode. And they know that every single thing else is done for them. We sweat the hard stuff so you can be the star of your show. And if you would like help to make sure that we're editing and publishing and promoting and doing your social media, it's all in one place. And I think it's pretty affordable. You'll have to take a look for yourself. Just go to growyourshow.com and check us out. And by the way, I'll see you on the next episode.